Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the EML, the PC Championship. You've got a bit of a different commentary team today. I'm alone. It was meant to be Josh and is it Alex who meant to do it, but no. Unfortunately, they won't make it here today, so I'm going to be here stepping in and providing the stream and the commentary for you all. Welcome in. The camera's dark. The camera's very ultra wide, but that's because I haven't really had time to set it up properly. But welcome in, everyone. Great to have you back. Of course, here for, I believe, around 8 of the PC Championship. Of course, you've got the 10 teams taking part. We'll have a quick look as well at the standings so I can also familiarise myself with what's going on so far. And we can see, of course, TF10 lead the way on 256 points to WOR on 208. Then we have NLR in third, just 3 points behind, actually, on 205. Then we have P4 for Team Shizu. Precision Racing in 5th, followed by ABS in P6. We'll have Rising Lions in 7th, CPI 8th, Custom GT in 9th, and TTM in 10th position. And I believe, of course, Customs GT, I don't believe race in this championship anymore. I believe it's a different team that has taken over, or maybe they've taken over from another team. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's ET8, isn't it, who's taken over from the Customs GT team. But yeah, we're going to get started quite shortly with what's going to be going on tonight. Obviously, we've got Jeddah, short qualifying, 25 laps. It should be quite an interesting race. It's quite an interesting one. I think it always has been throughout 21, 22, and the 23 game. You've got to think very carefully about your strategy, and also you've got to think very carefully about stuff like ERS usage and also where you are on the track in terms of wanting to have the DRS or not wanting to have the DRS. So that's something that drivers will definitely need to take into consideration this evening. We'll have a quick look as well at the lineups for tonight, and we have in the CPI team you've got No Grosjean and Yuma. I think it's Yuma. Yuma Opataya or something like that. I'll just stick to Yuma. It's a bit more simple for me. Shizu, we have Jensen Randall and Eruption. TF10 have Joel Marquardt and Tumas Lamanen. WOR have Tony He Taylor and Will Witchell. Precision Racing have Paolo Afonso and Alexi Cavero. Then TTM have Mizzy and Passy. ET8 have Matteo Piccolo and Alan Banashak. Then we'll have ABS with Owen Courtine and Hugo Fontbon. NLR with Harry Nuns and Gabriel Quintino. And finally, the Rising Lions with Otso Lotomaki and Danny Daniels. So, a couple of drivers. Don't know much about them, to be fair. So I think this will also be quite interesting for myself to kind of figure out who's got the pace and who quite isn't on the pace. As many teams as well I haven't really commentated over before, so it will be quite an interesting evening. So of course, welcome in everyone. Nice to have you, of course, here in the YouTube chat. Let us know what team you're here supporting tonight of all 10 that are taking part, and hopefully for yourselves we can see them end themselves up on the podium, or maybe end up with a victory in tonight's race, as we have 10 seconds till we head in towards the game. So we'll head over to the game screen at the moment. You can see it now. There we are. Well, you should be able to see it in a second once F1 configurates itself with the game. In a second, there we are. We're loading in. Of course, it is 18 minutes of qualifying, so a short quali session, which means around 3 runs max. Of course, all on the soft tyres. Then we go into a 25-lap race, which has also been rather interesting, as I already discussed before, about the track being you gotta. It's got a bit like being on a chessboard. You got to have yourself in the right position at the right time to make something work. As we can just see now, a few more car drivers loading in towards the session, and then we'll get our way underway. We'll just pop the audio on as well, so you can hear the game screen when we get in. I've had to set everything up last minute, so don't no. Hang on, there we are. Put them on there as well. Yeah, I've set everything up last minute, so I'm sorry if everything's kind of all over the place, and I'm all over the place. I've just had about an hour to get myself sorted out for this. We're just going to wait now for Will Witchell to load in, and then we'll be heading our way into the qualifying session. As we can see, of course, very dark and very dry here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, and we've got all cars in, all 20 drivers in for the 10 teams which are taking part. Just going to set up everything on the screen. There we are, our track map. Of course, we have to have our beloved track map on the screen. And then we can just see now, I can see one of the ET8s there in the Williams. That'll be Matteo Piccolo, looking to be one of the first to head out onto circuit. So we'll go aboard him. There we are, as he heads his way out onto circuit. Of course, racing for the ET8 team, who I believe have came in quite late to the championship, so they haven't got that many points under their belt at the moment. Of course, we're on round 8 at the moment, so a decent way into the championship. I'm not sure how many rounds we have left, but I don't believe it is actually that many. As we can see, a few more cars head out. We've got one of the two of the TF10s, one of the Shizus, one of the WORs as well, all heading out onto circuit to get their 8 laps underway for the first part of the qualifying session. Of course, 18 minutes in this session, 17 to go, so they will get 3 runs out of this, maybe 4 if you make a mistake and you want to go back round once more on that initial run. As we can see there, it will be Joel Marquardt, who now, I believe, leads this. No, it won't be Thomas Launen, who now leads this little train as they head down towards turn number 13. Obviously, yet again, this corner as well. It's a very nice corner. I think it's also quite difficult to navigate yourself through at high speed because you've got to be very careful not to lose the rear on the exit, which many drivers seem to do. And if you don't lose the rear or you make a mistake, you end up clattering that wall on the exit, which is also a very a very non-ideal thing to do. So, yeah, that corner is also quite difficult. We've got the chicane here. This is turns 15 and 16 as well. Another very difficult part of the circuit. You've got to get right close up to the walls, and being 1 inch over far to the right or being 1 inch far over to the left, that could be you pretty much done for your race or for your qualifying, as we can see. Thomas Launen head through there at the moment, and then, of course, down towards turn 27. A long run. With DRS, of course, and we see many overtakes, many DRS chickens happen in towards this part of the track, and well, normally you can see people make overtakes here for the win, but actually not end up with a win at the line because of the DRS that runs up towards turn number 1. As we can see now, this will be Thomas Launen heading down to the final corner to begin his first lap here of the session. We'll go on board here with him as he heads his way down towards turn number 1, of course, flat on the throttle, top gear, gear 8 as he heads his way down towards the first corner. DRS being activated as well, and of course, as he breaks around that 100-metre board, coasts the car into turns 1 and turns 2, back on the power as he heads his way out of turn number 2, and now towards turns number 4 here at the left. Just want to throw the car in down to 5th gear. Just be very careful as you head your way through. Try not to, of course, get too close to the walls, but you've got to be very close to them, as you can see there. Very close as he headed his way through the end of that first sector now. Down towards turn number 13, and we'll see what he can do for that first set to split there. It'll be 31.3 for too much to open up the session. As he heads his way into turn 13, though, goes a little bit wide there. That will lose him time and will definitely lose him some speed as he heads his way down now in towards turn number 15 and 16 at this horrible high-speed chicane there. Down to 5th, back on the power, ride that curb on the exit as you head your way around now, and a few cars looking to, well, only one there, looking to move out the way there for Tumash, who doesn't kind of get held up and lose time on his lap, and of course the drivers don't want to give him any sort of tow, so they'll be trying to avoid that as much as possible. As now Tumash heads through into turns 22 to 24. Very nice taken there in that chicane, and now heading down into the final corner. We'll see what can Launen do on this opening lap as he heads his way down in towards a braking zone there, down to 3rd gear, missing the apex slightly there as he headed his way through, and now up towards the line. We'll see what can Thomas Launen set for the opening lap of the session. It will be 25.821 on the board. We've got a few more cars coming through here. The teammates of Tumash will be Joel Marquardt as Tony Hitala goes into P2, and Will Whistler, I believe, not setting a lap. As we can see, Joel Marquardt go up to the top there with a 25.790. We'll go on board here with the CPR driver of No Grosjean. As we can see, Jensen Randall there go up into P5, Matteo Piccolo into 4th. What can No do as his teammate goes into 5th, he goes into P4 there with a 26.211. We'll see what Harry Nuns can do in the NLR car. He's invalidated. What about his teammate, Gabriel Quintino? He's heading through in towards the final corner now. We'll see what can Quintino do. As he heads his way up towards the line there, we can see Mizzi into P4, Danny Daniels into 7th there for RLS, and Gabriel Quintino there goes into 3rd, just behind the 2 TF10s. As Erwin Cortina goes up into 3rd, just behind the 2 TF10s. We've got a few more cars left to come through on their laps. We've got Hugo Fontbon heading his way down out towards turn 27, as that will be one of the TTMs. That will be Passe up into P15. That will also be Alexi Cavero into 7th place for Precision Racing. I know you said Parnell then, because I'm used to PR being Parnell. As we can see what Hugo could do as he heads his way up towards the line. What will it be for Hugo Fontbon? It will audio. That wasn't very ideal. I pulled the microphone cable out by accident. We're not going to do that one again. That would not be ideal. Right, there we are. I don't think there's any lag on there, hopefully, on the stream. As we can see, Otso Loito Marquis heading his way through in towards the next corner. And my question is Slipstream allowed? Because I've not seen anyone do it yet. And there, we could see Otso had a great bit of Slipstream down into that corner. And, of course, I know a lot of leagues do allow it. A lot of them don't. So we'll see, yeah. We'll see if that was delayed, but I'm sure it should be. I'm sure it'll be fine. As we can see as well, Harry Dunn's just heading his way back into the pit lane. Obviously, Otso coming into the final corner. We'll see what he can do for the RLS team. His teammate, Danny Daniels, in P11. What can Lautamaki do? To the line, goes into 14th there, just ahead of Hugo Fontbon, and still, obviously, Harry Duns and Will Whittle, the only drivers not to set a lap yet in this session. And Harry is heading down to the final corner, but I don't believe he is on a flying lap, as obviously he did his flying lap earlier on, but unfortunately made a mistake as Eruption is in P6 for the Shizou team, and you can see Harry there just moving out of the way to head back into the pit lane and finish his part, or the first part for himself, of the qualifying session. Of course, it's him and Whittle who haven't got lap times on the board, and still at the top it is TF10 with John Marquardt ahead of Tumas Laminum, and obviously ABS are in third place with Urban Cortin, and NLR in fourth with Gabriel Quintino. So we'll see what can happen in the next part of qualifying, where we'll yet again have drivers on a brand new set of soft tyres. Eruption heading his way back into the pits. We've got Otso, Hugo as well, heading their way back down to the pit lane, and they'll be going to get ready for their second laps of the evening. And of course, if I get any of the rules wrong or I don't know much, that's because it's my first time watching this season. I don't watch league racing that much, apart from when I commentate it, because I do that much league racing coverage. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on in this championship, but you know, we're learning as we go along. So of course, feel free to correct me if I make any mistakes or say anything that might be wrong. As we can see, Jensen Randall now on an outlap in the Shizou car. We'll see what he can do this evening. Obviously in 16th at the moment. I've seen Jensen a couple of times, and I'm surprised to have seen him down in 16th. I'd expect to see him a little bit higher than that. So we'll see what he can do in this next part of qualifying, in the next lap. Obviously 10 minutes left to go, so they will get 2 runs in roughly in this part of the session, unless they want to leave it very late. But I can't see why they'd want to, because of course it is only the short qualifying session, so we don't proceed into Q2 or anything. This is like, you know, the 18 minutes for qualifying. This sets up the grid on a whole. And so far, we haven't got a penalty yet for the illegal blocking, which is a surprise. Normally, there's 1 or 2 slipping their way through in the first part of quality, but yeah, we've avoided it so far. So hopefully, we don't need to have a restart. But I don't see that being very likely at all, as we can see. Randall had his way out of. That's going to be turn number 15, I think, out of that chicane. And now, because he's just ahead of him, that will be the Ferrari, I believe, of Will Whittle. Let's see what he can do as he heads his way in towards turn 22. Yet again, one of the drivers not to have a lap time on the board at the moment, so needs to get a lap time, ideally, very shortly. I believe they're second in the championship as well. So with Tier 10 being 1 and 2, and his teammate being in 5th, they don't want to they can't really afford to have Will down in 19th. And of course, NLR as well, they're in 3rd in the championship. Only 3 points separates those 2 teams. So yeah, WOR cannot afford at all to be under any sort of pressure and end up having a drive at the start in that bottom 10. They ideally want to be in that top 6, top 7, as we can see Whittle now head his way into turn number 1 and 2. Very nice so far, being taken by the WOR driver. Now heading in towards turn number 4. And we'll see what he can do through this part of the circuit. Just coasting the car through, bringing it nicely through to the left, back to the left again, and then back to the right before going to the right once more. Very difficult section this is, in terms of, it's not difficult to drive, but it's difficult to carry out the maximum speed possible, because 2 kilometers an hour through that whole section can cost you quite a bit, which doesn't sound like much, but it does. So that's why they've got to, be so precise on the lines they take and avoid any loss of time through that sector of the circuit. As Will now heads his way in towards this next chicane, just wanting yet again to get back on the power, bring the car through, and then you'll head down towards turn number 22. Yet again, another very difficult chicane. You've got to take it down to around 6th gear and just truck the car in. You've got to kind of not really worry too much, or try not to worry too much about the car's speed through there. You've just got to throw it in and hope for the best as he heads his way now down in towards turn 27. Of course, a long DRS section before you hit that final part of the track, and hopefully it doesn't run into traffic, because he heads his way into the braking zone. We'll see what can Will Whittle do as he heads out to the final corner up towards the line. His teammates in 5th. Where does Whittle go as he heads to the top? He goes into P15 only with the 26.4. As we can see, Jensen Randall down on his time as he will head back into the pit lane. Yeah, so not ideal at all for Jensen Randall. As we can see, a few more cars coming through. I need to try and find someone in the final sector. Tony has backed off. What about Urban Cortin? He's heading through in towards that first set. The 2 TF10s we got, here we are, Lamanen up on his time in the second sector, heading down in towards the final corner. We'll see, can he try and take pole position away provisionally from his teammates as he heads his way up towards the line. It will be to the top with a 25.737 then. We got Joel Marquardt up by 0.2 in that second sector. Can he try and take provisional pole back from his teammates as he heads up towards the line? Of course he can, a 0.644 for Joel Marquardt. As we can see, Erwin Courting head his way through in towards the next part of the circuit. The end of sector number 2 as No Grosjean goes into third. We'll see. We'll keep on board here with Erwin Courting as he heads his way down to the final corner. We'll see what he can do in this second phase, or pretty much the second phase of the qualifying session, as I believe there was, I believe that's going to be Mizzy, or someone heading back into the pits. Yes, it is Mizzy into the pits as Quintino goes to the top there with a 0.523, a tenth now, separating NLR and TF10 in this part of qualifying. What can Courtin do? Can he go to the top? No, he can't, but he does go fourth, just behind the rear of Laminen, as I believe that will be Yuma up into P7. We've got Matteo Piccolo heading through that middle sector as well. Eruption is up on his time by 0.2, but unfortunately invalidated. What can Harry Duns do? He goes into P7. What about Alexi Cavero? We'll see, can he try and get himself any higher than P12 currently on a 126.191? What would it be for the PR driver at P6 there with a 125.914? Paolo Afonso down at the bottom at the moment with a 126.5, 26.6. Well, that is definitely quite far off what he would like. I can do around a 26.9, so it definitely shows that he's not the most ideal lap to have on the board as he heads his way down to the final corner. We'll see who else is on the lap at the moment. I don't think anyone actually is. What about Otso? Lord Tamaki, I believe that's how you say it, heading up to the line, goes up into, well, stays P16 and did improve by nearly 0.2 of a second there. That is definitely going to be quite annoying for the RLS driver, part of the Rising Line Sports team. We've got Passy, part of TTM, is it Top Tier Motorsport, I believe, there. Not doing the best, but not doing the worst at the moment, in 12th and 14th. Welcome in, Nordic Ninja. Welcome into the chat, mate. Glad to see you here. Let us know what team you're here to support tonight. Which of their 10 teams or drivers you're looking to support. Of course, guys, let us know in the chat who you want to get pole position. Get your predictions in the chat, guys. We've got, what, 8 minutes-ish, maybe a little bit less than that. 4 minutes, sorry. No, 4 minutes left to go. That has gone quick. So get your predictions in the chat, everyone. Where's the book? Well, I wish I had the book. I need to get the book. But hello, Nordic Ninja. It's nice to have you in the chat. Yeah, I'm just filling in for this round as Josh and Alex aren't here, unfortunately. So I'm stepping in tonight and, well, they better be back next week. Otherwise, I've got no one to commentate because I'm not going to be here next week. So, yeah, I thought I'd jump in and just help out. I was back here a couple seasons ago. I think it was season 4 in this championship. Yeah, back in the last game. That was a brilliant one. That was between, I think it was TF10 and FVR who fought for that championship. Or it was TF and TF10. I can't remember exactly. That was a brilliant one, that was. Yeah, back a while back. At the end of the F122 cycle, that was. Yeah, it might have been season 3. I can't remember. It was either season 3 or season 4 of the PC Championship. It was very, very good indeed. As we can see, Jensen Randall now up by 0.3 in the first sector. That is more like it indeed from Mr. Randall as he heads his way through and towards the next part of the circuit. Just wanted to tap on the brakes, down to his back on the power, and then you'll focus as you head your way through the gears in towards turn number 22. And we'll see what he can do in that second sector. What will it be for Jensen Randall? He will be up by 0.4 of a second, puts him around the 26.2. He goes off, and well, that certainly will not be a valid lap at all. Unfortunate there for Mr. Jensen Randall. That lap will not count, and we'll probably have to head back into the pits and go again as they head down now in towards the final corner. And we can see there Nordic Ninja saying, I hope the professional yapper of RLS, I hope them to do well, but NLR for win if RLS has a honker. Well, RLS at the moment are 15th and 16th. I can't see them winning, unfortunately. They are quite far off the pace, around 7/10 off, so it's going to be a struggle, but you never know. They can always bring it back in the race, of course. We've got Tony heading back into the pits there after his lap. He's P7 currently. Got Erwin Courtin on at the moment, heading out on circuit. We've got Uma, Eruption, Matteo, everyone now heading out for the final part of the qualifying session. So, guys, make sure you let us know who you think will take pole position. What driver you think will take it. I'm not going to make my prediction because whenever I do, I end up mixing it up or messing it up, and that is the last thing I want. Welcome in, Jim. Nice to have you in here as usual. Hope you're doing well, mate. And he's going to be here for Jensen. Well, I believe Cameron's part of Shizou, isn't he? So is that who you support now, Jim? The Shizou team. Brilliant to see. Brilliant to see. It's great that Cameron's back over on the PS side. Honestly, one day, Jim, I'll need to come to PS for one stream so I can commentate over Cameron again. It's been too long since I commentated over him. I think it was the start of the game since I last commentated over Cameron, so I'll have to come back one day. And Nordic Ninja says, I'm expecting at least a 0.9 from RLS. Yeah, well, they've got what? One lap to go. We'll go on board with Danny Daniels. I think he's on a lap now. Yeah, I think they can easily find 4/10 on the laps. You know, a 26.2, you know, is quite far off what the top times are. So it won't be hard for them to find the time. And Danny is up by a 10th in the first, already looking to be on a 0.1 as he heads his way down into turn number 13. We'll see what he can do on this next endeavour as he heads his way in towards turn 15 and 16 at this other horrible chicane. This is also where you can gain so much time, but the issue that Danny's got is, look ahead of him. He's timed this, I don't think, very well because he's got a slipstream from his teammate, but all the way down there's cars. So this could be quite interesting here for Danny. There could be a penalty thrown out for a bit of blocking from a couple of drivers, because when you've got a car coming through, you don't always see that a car behind's on a flying lap, because all you see is dots. You don't actually see a fast dot coming towards you, so hopefully they've all been instructed to move out the way and not get involved, as that was close there with an Alpine and an Aston Martin, and, oh, well, I think we could call that one, as that was Alexi Cavero who blocked Danny there, and also then Danny himself blocking a car, and Uma's retired on the track, so he won't continue here in qualifying, and well, 2 minutes to go, and it's absolutely erupting here on the circuit, just trying to find a car that's heading through on a lap. We've got Danny Daniels retiring in the pits. We've got Will Witchell now heading his way through that first sector in the WOR Ferrari as he heads his way down towards turn number 13 there. Up by 2/10 in the first sector. Looking good so far here from Will Witchell as he heads his way through in towards the horrible high-speed chicane here. Thomas Launen has retired on circuit as well. Binned it down in the middle of sector 1. Harry Nunn's also retiring on track as well. Dead at the end of sector 1 as well. I don't know if that's a bit of a domino effect there from a couple of cars having an incident. So it'll be Alexi Cavero 6th at best. Tony will be 7th at best. And Will Witchell up by nearly 4/10 of a second. So looking to place himself around P9 on the grid. Erwin Courtine can't improve from his .755. We'll keep on board here with Will Witchell. What can he do as he heads his way into the final corner? Bit of a slide, but looking good nevertheless. And Alan Banashak not getting any higher than 13th on the grid now. That is a big surprise. And Will goes into P6 there for WOR. That's very nice indeed, as we can need to see Joel Marquardt coming through. Here we are, into the final corner, up by over a 10th and a half. Looking good so far here for the TF10 team. Heading out to the final corner. Getting a bit of a cheeky slipstream, a little bit possibly here from the car ahead. That will be Mizzy, who goes 11th. Joel goes to the top with a .495. Can he take pole position, though? Yes, he can, because I think Gabriel won't improve. What about No Grosjean? Can he try and take pole position away? It's all down to him on the grid to take pole away from Joel Marquardt. Can he take it away? No, he can't. He will finish in P number 5. What about Jensen Randall? He's down by 3 seconds. Couldn't find a time at all, really, in that session. So it will be TF10 on pole with NLR in second, with Gabriel Quintino, and then TF10 in third with Tomasz Laminen. But on that final run, you didn't see many improvements really over the grid. We saw Eruption go up to P7, we saw Will into P6. Apart from that, there wasn't that many big improvements. We saw 1, 2, 3, about 5 retirements on the final runs. Now that is rather a big surprise. I don't see that happen very often at all in the league racing scene now, which is definitely a big surprise indeed to have 5 cars retire on the final runs. But I did see, of course, someone retired in that first sector, and then Harry retired a couple corners later, so I'm not sure if he got a bit of a spook from one of the cars there that was involved. But we can see, of course, it is Joel Marquardt on pole ahead of Gabriel Quintino in second, and then we have Thomas Laminen in third, ABS with Erwin Courtine in fourth, and No Grosjean in P5, followed by Will Witchell, Eruption, Alexi Cavero, Tony Hitala, and then Harry Nuns is the top 10. Then we have Matteo Piccolo in P11, followed by Mizzy, Uma, Paolo Afonso, Alan Banashak, Passi, Otso, Lloyd Tamaki, Danny Daniels, Hugo Fontbon, and Jensen Randalese. Your top 20. Now, I don't believe, oh no, we do have a restart because of Alexi Cavero's issue. with the I think it was Danny Daniels. So I do believe we have a restart in this session. I believe we do. Let's have a little look there. Where do we need to go? Oh dear me, I'm trying to find the right channel. Don't know if we have one. Bit of a discussion here. Obviously, Alexi did get the penalty for hitting. Oh, there's no restart. Oh, okay. So it'll be just a 5 place for Alexi. Well, deserved, if you ask me. So, probably should have said that, shouldn't I? Well, ignore that. That's for the stewards to decide. Right, we're going to get ready to head off in around 30 seconds time-ish, somewhat around that. We need to wait for everyone to set the setups up, get all, the chats with their engineers, make sure everything is working perfectly fine. And then we will get down with 25 laps of racing around the Jeddah Corniche circuits. And, well, from what we saw in qualifying, this will be quite an interesting race. Maybe not the front, but maybe in the midfield. So we'll see what happens between all the drivers. And we're going to get started very, very shortly. And this is the point where you have to waffle on, because there's nothing to say, because you don't have a clue when the game actually decides to start. So yeah, it shouldn't be too long before we get our way underway. But obviously, guys, make sure to let us know in the chat who you think will take victory here tonight. Let us know what team and what driver will take victory in this race here at Jeddah, of course. It could be anyone in that top 5, top 6, because so far they've all looked very close in terms of pace. A bit of a trick before we get ourselves underway. And here we are, just sit here, wait and wait and wait. You're all used to it by now. You see in every single league, you just sit here and wait for something to happen. I've got to hope no one's tabbed out and that's caused an issue, because that would not be ideal at all. Yep, confirmed no restart, so it's just the game deciding to be silly and make us wait. So Nordic says NLR or TF10 Laminen. That's possible. Very possible, considering they're second and third. So you get yourself quite an easy bet there. Yes, again, I'm not going to make a decision or make a prediction, because every time I do, I end up getting it wrong and I curse the driver, and that is the last thing that I want. I do not want to be the one who decides with a curse where a driver finishes in the race. So now it's just now waiting for something to happen. Just sitting here, alone, waffling along. With a round, I'm hoping within the next 30 seconds we can get our way on, ourselves underway. Because I've kind of figured out I've just not got anything to speak about now. I kind of just talked about everything I could, and we get underway now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 nights here for the 8th round of the EML Championship, and it is go, go, go. Joel leads away ahead of Gabriel, ahead of Tumash in third as they head their way down to turn number 1, and we can see Eruption there in 5th position, actually losing out to Will Witchell, who gets himself up into P5 there. No, Grosjean as well, looking to make a move for P6, as we can see Eruption there looking to try for a second to get himself up the inside in towards turn number 4, but it is still Joel who leads the way ahead of Gabriel and Irwin in third, getting past Laminen at the start. Perfect move from the ABS driver there to get himself within podium reach, as now looking to actually get past the back of Quintino into second is the ABS driver. Now the question is, what tyres are they all using on circuit? It is soft and hards, and one driver on the mediums being Will Witchell there, so a bit of a different strategy to the others, but many on the hards and a few on the soft tyres. We can see Eruption there looking to find his way past Will Witchell on the soft tyre, looking to try and find a move, and if anything they want to get it done on the first couple of laps as he looks to head his way down in towards turn 22, and there we'll see. Does Courtine try and make a move ahead of Marquardt? That's the question. Can he get the move done and then try and pull away to a 1 second gap, or does he stick behind with the DRS as they head their way down towards turn 27? Of course, no DRS until lap 3 of 25, as we can see. Witchell under pressure here from Eruption. Shizou versus WOR into the final corner, and Eruption tries to get the move done, and that's someone out. That's going to be a safety car. That's 3 cars out in turn 27. What has happened there? 3 cars on a straight have retired, and it's going to be Alan, Passy, and Paolo all out of the race on the first lap of this race, and Gabriel Quintino into the pit lane, which makes me think a medium, or there's some damage on his car. Now, it's questionable, isn't it? 3 cars crash on a straight. Oh, here we are. An interesting one indeed, and well, it'll be Enelart who go to the pit stops with Danny Otso as well for RLS, and then Hugo Fontbon for ABS. And do we have any wing changes? No, we do not. It's just mediums here, so they go medium. I believe that is probably what they are going to choose to do here, which is an interesting strategy indeed, but we'll see, because they're not... surely they don't take mediums 23 laps. I don't think that's even possible. I really don't think it is. And Alan already leaving the session, and I'm sure there'll be many student reports and many harsh words in the Discord chat after that one, because, well, whatever happened, it was not good at all. Oh, well, many people in the chat questioning what happened. I think that is definitely a word for it. What happened there? And, oh, that is going to be someone not happy about being killed on a straight. So, well, reports galore it will be tonight after this race, but then again, it's Jeddah. When won't it be reports galore around this circuit? As we can see them all head round now towards the safety car, and then, well, lap 1, safety car. So, lap 2, obviously we'll have the safety car till around, I believe, the end of lap. We'll have it till the end of next lap, which means we'll begin on lap 4 of racing for hopefully 21 laps. Will that be the case from what we've seen so far? Probably not. I'm sure someone else will get caught up in an incident somewhere. So we might have a couple of safety cars here tonight in this race. And, well, those who pit on the mediums, taking it medium, means they'll be quicker than all those on the hards for now. First of all, they've got 1 lap fresher tyre, and also they're on a softer compounded tyre. So this strategy could definitely work for those guys. But to be able to get your elbows out. For Quintino, it can work, because he can get his elbows out. You know, he was 2nd place. But for those behind, you know, Danny, Hugo Otto, who wasn't that far up the grid, they've got to try and prove themselves wrong from quali and, you know, have a bit of decent pace, because if they're 6 tenths off in quali, having a 3/4 tenth advantage gives you nothing. So they've got to really put the power down, really get on it and make some brilliant moves in this next part of the race. Of course, you're looking to pit around, what, lap 13, lap 14, maybe a bit later. I'm not exactly sure on strategy around this circuit, but you're looking around 50-50, aren't you, if you're medium. So looking around lap 15, maybe even go medium soft, if you can stretch it a bit longer. Maybe, you know, pitting around lap 17, getting yourself onto a set of the soft tyres and then taking them to the end. You know, tyre degradation isn't the worst around here. You can take tyres a little bit longer than you would at other tracks. So, yeah, that could work. Yeah, so, you know, possibly looking at medium soft, maybe looking at a medium. You know, you'd expect those on the softs to go soft medium, which would make you think medium soft works. As, yeah, we'll see what happens now as they make their way through in towards turn number 13 once more. And of course, the one thing I love about this track, and the one thing I love about a safety car, if you can love anything about one, is the fact that when you're coming through into the final corner, when the safety car goes in, you get a beautiful view. The car's coming through at turn 25, that bit of a kink to the left, and then you can see him all the way down towards the final corner, and then you can see the driver boot it down towards the line. It's a brilliant camera angle, one of the best on the game. We'll see it this lap, hopefully, as I presume we'll go underway on lap 4, as that will be the Haas of Otso Loitamaki catching up to the track, to the train, sorry, on the track, and with P17 at the start, as we'll hopefully see it go in this lap, as obviously still caught in second, with the TF10s first and third, of course. Quintino was in there as well, but he pitted at the safety car, and the safety car will be in this lap, and we'll get ready, guys, to see the brilliant camera angle that the game presents us with. We'll move the timing screen on the left, and you'll see the beautiful angle that we get presented with. It won't bleed and choke me now, will it? There it is. Look at that. You can see them heading through 20, well, probably 26 that is, isn't it? Into turn 27. A brilliant camera angle. And we'll see, obviously, Joel Marquardt lead the pack away down towards turn number 1. And we'll see what he can do. And we'll see if he can defend off from Courtine. As you can see there, Courtine taking a tighter line on the exit of the final corner. Okay, that's going back up there. We are on right. When does Joel go? He's gone. Very good start there from Joel Marquardt. Brilliant start. And now, actually, Irwin got caught really off guard, because we've got Laminen on the outside already as they head down to turn number 1. Can Laminen make the move? No, he can't. Sits back for now. We can see further back there That'll be no Grosjean and Eruption fight for P5 and P6 as they head their way through turn 2 and 3. Slight bit of contact, and Eruption is ahead of no Grosjean. Further back, we can see Alexi Cavero go nearly 3 wide with Mizzi, and that will be Jensen Randall, I believe, involved in that one. That's someone off the circuit. That'll be Matteo Piccolo. Then at turn number 5, looking to hold up a bit of a train here, Harry Nunzies, as they head their way through in towards turn number 12 and down towards turn number 13. We can see now, what can Gabriel Quintino do as he heads to the inside of Jensen Randall there to make the move for P13. Nearly taps Mizzi as well into the corner. That was a close one indeed as he went in towards the back corner. And now, does Mizzi defend in towards this next part? Because surely, by the time they get down to this next chicane, Gabriel should be near enough alongside to make a move. You can see there, more grip, of course, on those medium tyres. We can see further ahead, Will Wishel gaining into the rear of Laminen, and Courtine looking to gain into the rear of Joel Marquardt for the lead as they head down towards the next couple of corners. Further back, we can see Randall actually drop down to P16 there. Just got no pace at all in that Shizou car whatsoever and struggling heavily in this race. And Quintino, when can he find his way past Mizzi? As he's lost some time down that back straight there. Might be a bit of a different strategy. Might be the fact he's not using battery down there. Someone's got, oh, 2 cars have gone very deep. There's damage for one of them. Mizzi's got damage. Uma goes wide, and what the hell was that? Well, there we are. Awareness masterclass there from Uma as they head down to turn 1, and Urban Courtine takes the lead of the race ahead of Joel Marquardt and Tumis Laminen in 3rd position. Fontbon and Daniels fighting for P12 and 13. They're going 3 wide at turn 2. Someone's got damage there. That'll be Hugo. Went very wide. I presume he's got damage on that ABS car. As they head into turn number 4 and 5, you can see further ahead there, Quintino has also lost time to the back of Alexis. So I'm not sure if they all got involved in some sort of kerfuffle into the final corner. As we can see as well, Eruption looking to gain in on the rear of Will Wishel as well for P4. As they head down in towards turn number 13, and we'll see here what Eruption can do. 4 old soft tyres, give it 2 laps, albeit drop off. Once that happens, making moves will be even more difficult than they are at the moment. As he heads his way through, the gap there just over 2/10 of a second, just dropping below 2/10 now, looking to close into around a 10th as they head their way in towards this next corner, but no move really being an option there for Eruption as they head down in towards the next chicane. Just coasting his way through here, looking to take it conservative, but also try and have a bit of a push on the back of Wishel. You can see he's got 82% to battery, so he's not really burning it to get ahead. You know, he wants to move, but he's not too bothered about it. As we can see Randall be overtaken by Fontbon there, down towards turn 27 as well, to get himself into P14 here in this race. And further ahead, we've got Tony Hitella on the back of No Grosjean as well, looking to close it, but then as a click on his camera, he's ended up losing 2/10 off the back of No Grosjean. As we can see Quintino take the fastest lap of the race, as we can see him actually getting to P10 ahead of Alexi Cavero, and pops himself now behind the back of his teammate. And we'll see, when does Harry let him through? Because surely Harry will let Gabriel through and then defend, of course, from Alexi. But actually, Harry's probably on a little bit of better pace, so he might then just coast in behind the back of his teammate, and we'll see what Gabriel can do as they head through turn number 11 and 12, down towards turn number 13 at this banked corner. And you can see Harry moving over there. I believe that is letting through. Yes, it is. And he lets his teammate through. Brilliant teamwork there from the NLR team. As now Quintino looks to try and get on the back of Matteo Piccolo for ETA, of course. In the P11 in qualifying, so wasn't the best performance from ET8 in quali. But then again, you know, Matteo on his own on circuits, his teammate got caught up in that lap 1 incident. He can try and get something done here and try and make you know, a good result here for the ET8 team. As we can see, actually Matteo looking to gain in on the back of Tony there to make the move hard against the soft. That makes you think maybe the drop off has been close to being hit, or maybe has hit for the soft runners, as we can see as well. Quintino looking to gain in on the back of Hitella, but the issue is Quintino's also got his teammate right behind, so they're going to hope that those two don't also get into a bit of an incident as they head into turn 27. Back down towards turn number 1, and we'll see here if any moves can be made. I don't think they will, and we've actually got pit stops happening already. Hitella into the pit stop, so surely that'll be for a set of the hards, or maybe a set of the mediums. I don't know. It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it, with what he'll do here. As it'll be a set of hards, yeah. So I think that it's an interesting strategy, because I always thought that around here the best strategy was your medium soft or your soft medium. I never really thought a soft hards was actually the way to go, because I actually can't see strategy working for Tony. I'll explain why. So, hards on lap 7, he's got to take those hards, what? 18 laps. That's a long way to take a set of tyres for a start. He's got the undercut, yes. But by the time they pit in 8 laps' time, it's going to be 8 lap old hards versus 0 lap old mediums. Or potentially softs if they're on the hards going to soft. So, Tony's going to have a lot of work to do here, I think. And then Denny says Tony maybe had damage. Yeah, that's probably the most... yeah, probably. He did lose a lot in the pits as well, didn't he? Yeah, that's hopefully the case. Otherwise, I think he's made a bit of a blunder here on the strategy. As we can see, Piccolo on the back of Grosjean as they head down towards turn number 27. Once again, we'll see the boost can be made. Marquardt takes the lead away, and we'll see Lamanen trying to take second to make it a TF10 1-2 so they can control the pace of the race. But Cortini's not letting that happen. He breaks deeper and gets back into third. Now, Will Wishall looking to get into contact with Lamanen as they head out of the final corner down towards turn number 1, and we'll see what moves can be made because Lamanen's using some battery trying to get ahead of Courtine, and then they break into the braking zone. Can Lamanen make the move? No, he taps the back of Courtine though in towards turn number 1, and further back we can see as well Piccolo on the back of Quintino there trying to, I believe, defend that one as they headed through in towards turn 1 and 2, and Danny Daniels has a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. So I believe that's not for yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Because normally it's you know, for extending the track limit 3 times, as that one's just for caught in the corner once, as we can see. Hitala ahead of Mizzi as they head down towards turn number 1, and further ahead we can see Quintino ahead of Grosjean for P6 as they head down into turn number 13. And then we can see, of course, behind that will be Matteo Piccolo and Harry Nuns, of course, on the hard tyres. So third and fourth in the hard tyre train. Of course, we've got many who will pit soon, so they will move themselves up quite far once those ahead have made their pit stops. As we can see as well, further back there, that'll be Jenson Randall ahead of Daniel Daniels for P13. So back down to P14 for the RLS car. And obviously his teammate, Otso Loitomaki, doing a very good job in P10 at the moment. Under a bit of pressure here, though, from Alexi Cavero in the Precision Racing car. Further ahead, we can see yet again Lamanen looking to try and make it a 1-2 for TF10, because if they can do that, they can control the pace between the two of them and make a bit of a blockade for anyone trying to take first or second away. But the issue is Lamanen can't get himself alongside, and then we can see, of course, Erwin get the lead ahead of Joel, ahead of Lamanen. So we'll see now TF10 can make this work, get a double overtake. ABS will be down to third, which means then the two TF10s will be in a very good position as they head their way down towards turn number 4. Further back we can see Piccolo gaining in on the back of Grosjean. We can see Missy ahead of Tony He Taylor as well for P15. So head their way through in towards the end of that first sector. Then towards turn number 13, and we'll see Eruption as well look to close in on the rear of Will Wishall. But those softs now will be at a bit of a dying point at this moment in the race, as the two TF10s get very close together for a split second there. So I'm not sure if Marquardt ran wide of it there, as they went through in towards the back corner. And actually, Cortines hit the wall. He's had a big tap on the wall. Now the question is, did that give him damage? Because Joel Marquardt's on the attack, looking to stay behind for now though, so they can get some DRS in towards the final corner. And then we've got Will Wishall stuck behind in this as well. Then it'll bring Eruption into this as well, with Quintino, the lag as well for Will Wishall for a second. They're all going to get clustered up down towards the final corner. Erwin Courtine could be absolutely dropped here as they head down. 1 gets past him, 2 gets past him, 3 will get past him. What about Eruption? Can he make it 4? No, he can't. It will be Joel Marquardt ahead of Lamanen, ahead of Wishall, ahead of Courtine as they head out of the final corner back down towards turn number 1. And now Courtine's still on the rear of Wishall, but he can't make the move work. What about Wishall on the rear of Lamanen? No, he can't, as that will be Eruption into the pit lane off of his set of the soft tyres. Further back, we can see Grosjean and Piccolo arguing for P6, and that will be Piccolo ahead of Grosjean, and now Nuns looking to make a move and get himself into P7, but he can't find a way past. No, Grosjean at all, so we'll sit behind just for now. As we can see further back as well, scroll down a bit, this will be Eruption heading out the pit lane. Obviously making the stop for the medium tyres now in this race, as Lamanen takes the lead away from his teammate. What's happened to Marquardt? He's had an issue, hasn't he? He's dropped down to P4. What has happened now? I think he's gone a little bit wide somewhere and obviously lost 4 positions due to that. So now TF10's strategy of a 1-2 is not going to work at all, as Nuns is going to be getting ahead of Grosjean down towards turn 13. And now into P7 is the NLR driver. And well, Courtine, you know, obviously hit the wall. I don't think he's got damage, as Wishall got damage because he's gone very wide heading out of turn 14. And now that'll obviously pull these two alongside. This could end a bit scrappy in towards turn 24. I think Courtine backs off. He does. He knows that is not the move to make in towards that section. As he now looks to get ahead of Witchell once more. And Witchell looking to stick on the back of Laminan here for P2. As we can see them all head down in towards the braking zone. Hugo Fontbon ahead of Cavero. We've got Will Witchell ahead of Thomas Laminan. And then we've got Courtine now looking to close it out. It's a bit of a slide though, as they head down towards turn number 1. And we'll see what moves can be made. Marquardt on the back of Quintino, and that's the last place he wants to be. He uses battery, pulls to the outside to make the move ahead of the NLR car, but can't do so. Quintino brakes later, hits the back of Courtine, goes wide. Marquardt hits the curb one, trying to get the move back up and under, but couldn't quite find it because he went wide on that curb. As they head their way down, we've got Otso Lloyd Tomaki there on the back of Hugo Fontbon. We've got Grosjean in the pits along with Alexi Cavero in P13 and 14 at the moment. As Witchell takes the lead, what happened to Laminan? Has he done the same thing as his teammate? Because he's dropped down 2 positions. TF10 have done the exact same thing, unless that can't be any sort of strategy. Surely he's made a mistake. Every time we look at them, it's when they're not making a mistake. So TF10 now down to P4 and P5 after what should have easily been a P1 and P2 here in this race, as they head their way through in towards the next chicane. Lap 11 of 25 here in this Grand Prix, and Laminan now looking to close in on the rear of Quintino. Pulls along and pulls ahead of the NLR car, now looking to get himself ahead of Courtine as well, but backs off for now. Knows that he's not going to make a move into turn 22 because that will not end well. As they head their way now down in towards the final corner, Witchell looking to make it, that'll be Laminan looking to make a move ahead of Courtine, and then Witchell sitting just ahead as they head into the braking zone. Laminan takes the lead, he backs off to get the DRS, and then we'll go for it down towards turn 1, but Will Witchell squeezes him, so there's a bit of a loss of confidence there on the power heading through the final corner, and we have Courtine in the pit lane off of the soft tyres. Now it'll be Laminan who takes the lead ahead, which then will have Joel Marquardt in fourth, currently looking to try and take third away to get himself back into a position to be with his teammate. Piccolo and Nuns fighting into turn 1 and 2. It'll be Piccolo ahead of Harry Nuns just for now, and yeah, we are P4 for the ETA car, who so far he's doing a very good job considering he started quite far down on the field. As we can see, Eruption take the net lead of the race on the set of the medium tyres. And so far, this is looking quite decent here for Eruption to get some good points, because the car behind him is 4 seconds back. And then his teammates, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds back as well. So, yeah, he's got quite a good lead at the moment. And you just got to keep yourself consistent now over these next few laps. And just before the others decide to come in for a pit stop in the race, he's got a 14-second gap to the top train, of course, consisting of Laminan down to Daniels, P1 down to P9, of course, with Daniels having a penalty. So that means Eruption should really finish ahead of him on that regard. As we can see, Fontbon here on the back of Nuns in towards 22, 3 and 4. Looking to close in, looking to just make a move here and get himself into P6. He's burning a bit of battery. As we can see further ahead there, that'll be Marquardt ahead of Quintino as they head in towards the final corner. So it'll be TF10 1 and 3, WR second, and then an NLR 4 and 5 as Piccolo does get overtaken there by Harry Nuns as they head their way down to turn number 1. But then we've got Fontbon involved. He's looking to make a move ahead of Piccolo. We need to try and find him. There we are, down to turn 1. Piccolo does get ahead though, and no move being made there by the ABS driver. So they head their way into turn 1 once more. And Harry will be the first one to make a pit stop off of the hard tyres onto a set of the mediums. As we can see, Lizzie there being overtaken by Tony. Obviously older mediums versus younger hards. We know how that one will end generally. As we can see, Fontbon looking to make a move into P5 ahead of Piccolo, but just can't find his way past. We can see ahead as well, Quintino on the rear of Marquardt, but I think he's not too concerned about being P3 or P4 because he knows that he's one of the leading cars on the medium tyre. So they head their way now down towards the next couple of corners, down of course towards that high speed chicane. Turns 22, 3 and 4, lap 13 of 25. Laminan leads ahead of Witchell, ahead of Marquardt in the top 3. Then we have Quintino and Piccolo in the top 5, making bits up the last lap. We had Harry Nuns now in P12 on the back of Erwin Courtine. Goes very wide though, that will lose him time. That could also Be possibly something for the penalty book, unless, you know, of course, if he didn't get a warning or anything for it, because he would have gained time doing that ahead of Randall. As they head their way in towards the next chicane, and Jenson Randall here on the older sets of the mediums, but looking quite quick so far as in this race. As obviously a bit of a poor qualifying, couldn't really get himself underway, but now he's pitted onto a set of the mediums and looking a little bit more bearable on those tyres, as we can see, of course. Whittle behind the back of Lamanen there. You can see Otso Maki into the pit lane off of his set of the medium tyre, hard tyre, sorry, onto a set of the mediums. As we can see, Erwin Courtine into P9 as well, ahead of No Grosjean, who's in P10. As we can see, Quintino here on the back of Marquardt, looking to just try and close it in. Championship-wise, obviously, TF10 lead the way. And I think is it 258 points or something like that. And then it's about a 40-50 point gap to WOR in second. And, of course, Will Whittle's doing good on his set of the mediums. But the issue is his teammates in P15, whereas TF10 have got a car first and third. So they're yet again looking to extend that championship gap to the second place cars. And, of course, third place in the championship is NLR. And they've got Quintero in fourth and Harry Nuns, who's pitted in net P4. So we'll see what that can do for him as well, as they head their way down towards the final corner once again. And lap 14 and 25, we'll see a few pit probably in these next couple of laps here. Of course, the top 7 yet to pit in this race. And we can see our race leaders pitting now. So it'll be Lamanen into the pits along with, it will be Fontbon, and it'll be Danny Daniels who will head into the pit lane. So it'll be Will Whittle who leads ahead of Lamanen and ahead of Marquardt and Quintino in third, and then of course Lamanen is in the pits in the McLaren in the TF10 car. Of course, we'll see what he can do as well. Bit of an undercut compared to others, and Danny Daniels goes on to a set of softs to take those to the end of this race. An interesting one indeed, but we'll see if it can work for Danny Daniels. As we can see, of course, there, Alexi Cavero going to be under pressure here from Daniels. We'll see what he can do on these soft tyres. We'll see their advantage they've got. Now, obviously, they're running less fuel, so their tyres will also be quicker anyway, because they aren't carrying as much weight as they were before. As that'll be Fontbon going a little bit wide. Cavero following suit, and now Daniels looking to make his way through into P13 and ahead of Alexi Cavero. We can see further ahead, of course, Marquardt on the back of Whittle and Quintino sitting comfortably in third as they head their way down to the final corner. And what does Marquardt do? Takes the lead ahead of Whittle, and then Quintino looking to try and gain in and make a move for second in this race. And we'll see what he can do, because he's not, you know, he doesn't look too eager to make the move, but he'll definitely want to make some sort of move. As we can see, the top two all enter the pits and be finished on their set of the medium and hard tyre. We can see Matteo Piccolo as well joining them in the pit lane, which means Quintino is the only one to stay out at the moment on a set of the medium tyres. So we'll see what he does here. Softs for Whittle, mediums for Marquardt, mediums it'll be probably for Piccolo as well. We'll see where he is. There he is. It'll be mediums indeed for the ET8 driver. As they head down towards turn 4 now, and that gap there between the leaders 11.5 seconds, but obviously Quintino's left it a lot longer, hence why he will drop then more at the start of his final stint on, I presume, a set of the soft tyres, whereas the others mainly have gone for a set of the mediums. So is it an interesting strategy? Of course it is, but it can always work here for NLR. They've got Harry Nuns also to try and help out and make a good result for the team. He's going to be P4 once his teammate pits, and then Eruption should be overtaken by lots of Grosjean, Nuns, Randall as well. So they head their way down towards turn number 22 once more, and it will still be Quintino who leads. He goes into the final corner, and he's 11.5 seconds ahead. The question is, does he pit this lap or does he pit in the future? We'll go on board here as he heads his way into the pits, as Danny Daniels gets another 3-second time penalty, another one to add to his time at the end. It'll be 6 seconds being added to Danny Daniels' time. Big shame for the RLS driver, as that's going to be Tumas Lamminen ahead of Otso Loitomaki, and we'll have Will Witchell ahead of Danny Daniels of P11 as they head down towards turn 1 once more. And of course now pit lane for Quintino, he goes on to set the SOT. Where does he come out in all this is the question. Drop down to P12, into P15 possibly, no, P14. As they continue on, and that will be Alexi Cavero there, going a little bit wide out of turn number 12, and that loses him time. That also loses him a position to Quintino. Further ahead, we can see Marquardt as well, looking to make a move ahead of Vontbon to get himself into P8, but he also can't quite find the move yet to get himself into P8 as they head down in towards turn 22. And then we can see as well, Wizzy saying hammer time. Indeed, it is indeed hammer time for the NLR team. As Harry gets a penalty for multiple warnings, and he's also flashing the matches. So Harry, he's not having the best race at the moment. He could be eaten up here by 2 cars, maybe even 3, as they head down to turn 27. No Grosjean 6 in behind. Courtine also 6 in behind as well. And then we can see Courtine look for a bit of a lunge on Grosjean, gets the move done. But then the question is, who can get ahead of Harry as they run side by side down to turn 1? Because Harry now looking to defend, but it'll be Grosjean to the outside, it'll be Wheat to the inside, and they make the move done into P3, into P2 and P3 they go. And now Eruption with a 2-second gap to the guys behind. He's going to be, well, I don't think he's going to win it, but I think he could easily get a top 10 here in the race at the moment, as we can see. Nuns there on the back of Courtine, still looking to try and find a way through and get his way into that top 3 in the race. And of course, there we've got Danny Daniels. That's who someone goes wide. That'll be Irving Courtine going very wide there, and also loses a position to Jensen Randall, who's in P4, P5 now in this race. And well, we've got what, 7 laps to go, and Shazoo looking decent on strategy. But the issue they have is all those behind are on brand new tyres. As we can see as well, Will Witchell now looking to make his way ahead of Hugo Fontbon for P8. And of course, on the soft tyres, should really be making some moves here. He's got a couple, but would like to get many more as Randall takes P4 away from Courtine. They head their way down towards turn number 27. And actually, Randall looking to make a move ahead of 2 cars as they head back down towards turn 1 now. The question is, who had DRS there as they battle into turn number 1? No DRS at all for Randall. I think he's called that one a little bit silly there as they head to turn 1. He's going to be overtaken by 1, 2 and 3 cars into turn 1. Nuns back into second ahead of Grosjean, ahead of Courtine, ahead of Randall as they head their way into turn 2. And now Randall ahead of Grosjean. He's going to be pulled side by side, gets the move done, and into P4 goes Randall. Now Joe Marquardt into P5 ahead of Grosjean. And they go round the outside there. Brilliant move. Brilliant defence from No Grosjean. But no defence offered at all because Joel Marquardt is on 5 lap better tyres. And now we got Lamminen, Fontbon, Witchell looking to make moves. And Witchell actually tapping the back at Fontbon saying, you know, get a bit of a move on as they go down towards the next couple of corners. In towards turn number 13 they go. And a bit of lag there from Witchell as he makes his way. Obviously that'll be Quintino, making his way past Piccolo. Fontbon making his way past Grosjean now, and you can just see once one of those cars on the other tyres gets picked away, they all go down and down and down and down. As Lamminen, that'll be Joe Marquardt getting damage off hitting the wall there. Hopefully nothing that affects his race, as that's a DNO. Oh, that's Quintino and Loitomaki out of the race. That's a VSC. We've got another collision on a straight yet again. And I don't know how it's possible to crash on a straight. I really don't know. Twice now, one race. The drivers don't seem to be able to have the ability to go straight, or at least a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. So that is going to be NLR and RLS out of the race, and it will be pit stops here for Eruption. Now this could be very good indeed for those, but the issue is, it creates for Harry, is they're all now caught up, so NLR are going to be under even more of a compromising situation because of Harry having a penalty. They all pit. What about Will Mitchell? Does he stay out? No, he pits. I thought he would have stayed out there. I really thought he would have stayed out. And this also brings Tony back into the race. It brings Mizzy, Danny Daniels, Uma as well, all back into this race. And all going to be fighting now for victory. This could be a very interesting ending to this race. Eruption is now in the lead, ahead of Nuns, ahead of Courtine. Marquard's in fourth, and it'll be Piccolo's. He's onto a new set of soft tires. He'll drop down to P10. He must have got caught up with something. There's a bit of lag there, here and there. I can see a few cars jumping about, and that's probably what happened there to Piccolo for a second. But this race gets crazier and crazier. It's now Eruption who leads, and second place is Nuns, but he's got the penalty. He will be in a really bad position once the end of the race comes, because he probably won't even finish in the top 10 due to that. Unless he can get it removed, but I can't see that being too likely. So I've kind of saw here what happened down at turn number 27 on the first lap. It seems like a Williams goes up the inside of one of the Aston Martins and doesn't judge it very well, and unfortunately they come to contact and slide into the wall. So that seems to, that seems to have what happened down towards the final corner earlier on in the race, and of course what caused the opening safety car. Now they all round the final corner, and we'll catch up by the end of this lap, which means the safety car should go in at the end of lap 21, which means we'll have 2 laps of racing and crucially 1 lap of DRS, which means it's now going to all be about placing your car correctly. If you're leading now, Eruption doesn't want to be leading on the final lap. That is the last thing he wants. He wants to be behind Harry, so we can have the DRS down towards the final corner and then get the win. Shazoo need it, don't they? Standing towards. We'll have a quick look over to them because I still don't remember them fully. Shazoo are going to be in P. They're not on here. Or am I blind? Oh no, they're fourth. There we are. I'm absolutely blind. There we are. P4 for Shazoo. They've got what? 40-point gap to NLR in third position, which means from this race with a win for Eruption. And hopefully Randall can get himself a decent position as well, as my face comes onto the screen for some reason. They should be in a decent position to try and make some moves here in this championship to try and get themselves back into the battle for second, third and fourth. As this will be a very interesting ending to this race. And, well, it's been an interesting one for sure. As we can just see them now just rounding turn 13, the bounce left-hander, and then head down towards the final 2 chicanes and then the final hairpin before they head away once again for 3 laps of racing action here in Jeddah. Here's our race leader at the moment, Eruption for Shazoo, leading the way ahead of Harry Duns, who's got a penalty. He's in second, and then of course Owen Courtine in third. Also on brand new soft tyres, so we'll see what can happen here, and we'll have 1 lap of DRS in this race, just 1 lap, so this will be a very, very interesting ending indeed. The safety car will be in this lap of course, and Eruption will lead the way down towards turn number 1, and Randall as well his teammate in P5 also looking good. Shazoo looking for some very decent points, and the issue that TF10 have ran into of course was the fact because of the double stacking, Lamanen has dropped down to P11, so he's in a very, very compromising situation at the moment, so moves galore need to be made by Tumas Lamanen. We'll watch the cars come through to the final corner and we'll see when Eruption decides to bite the bullet and head his way down to turn 1 at full speed. As we can see all the cars exit the final corner. We'll go back on board. We'll go on board with Irving Courtine in third, and they've gone down to turn 1. As we can see, actually, a bit of a poorish start there from Harry Nuns. A good start from Courtine, who's going to burn some battery to make a move into turn 1. To the outside goes Irwin Courtine. Harry defends the inside line, has to back out. Further back, we can see Randall and Marquardt battling for P4. Randall now ahead of Joe Marquardt into P4. Goes the Shizou driver, but actually Marquardt's going to fight back into turn 4. Backside at the last second. As they head their way through, we can see as well, no, Grosjean with Matteo Piccolo for P8-9, and then, of course, Alexi Cavero for P10 getting involved. Danny Daniels has been spun round at the exit of the high-speed S's section, so he will now be P15 and will finish in P15 here in this race. What can Piccolo do? Sends it to the inside, and what the hell was that? I'm not even going to comment on that one. As we can see, Lamina now in P8, looking to keep himself ahead of Grosjean, but Grosjean burning the battery as they head their way through in towards turn 15 and 16, and narrowly there to the inside was Grosjean, nearly making contact with Lamina, who gets a better exit now. Uses battery, pulls alongside, will look to pull ahead as they head down towards the next couple of corners. And we've got Alexi Cavero as well in P10, looking to also close in here as they head down towards the chicane. Can any moves be made as well as they head down to the final corner? We can see Will Witchell on the rear of Joel Marquardt as they head down to the final corner. Turn 27 it is. What can be made here as Witchell gains in on the back and can't find a move as well, but we can see Marquardt here looking to close down on the back of Randall. Laminan into P8 ahead of Grosjean, ahead of Cavero, who's in P10, looking to try and take P9 away from Grosjean, and Marquardt now into P4 ahead of Randall as they head down to turn number 1. And we can see as well that'll be Cavero looking to fight back for P9, and it'll be Mizzi with a penalty for speeding in the pits. He will be done, I think, here in this race. A bit of a poor racing for the TTM pair, a DNF and a P14. Not what they would have wanted at all here in this race, as Will Witchell on the back of Randall still. And the question is here, can Eruption take the win away from Harry Nuns and Irwin Courtine? Because so far it's looking good, but the issue, well, the good thing here for Eruption, I suppose, is that if Harry gets a move done and wins, he's got a penalty anyway, so Eruption will still win the race. But obviously, he still wants, he still would ideally like to win from P1 and not from P2 and a penalty. And so head their way through in towards 15 and 16. Fontbon on the rear of Witchell there, looking to close in, but can't find a move. And Laminan, of course, getting into contact earlier on, I believe, with one of the cars. He's now got a 1.6 second gap. So he's indeed under a lot of pressure in this race now as they head their way down into the final corner. Courtine now on the back of Nuns. We'll see what happens going on to lap 24 or 25, the penultimate lap of the race. I'm sure they'll stick back for now. They will. They're not going to bother making moves. There's no point at all making moves there into the final corner as they head back down to turn 1 once more. Battery was, let's have a look. 30% for Eruption. Harry's got 75%. Courtine's got about, what's that, 30 or 40. That's all Courtine went for a move there into turn 1. Didn't quite work. So at the moment, Harry Nuns is in the best position in terms of his battery. Joel Marquardt's behind on 40% as well. He's going to look for a move for P3, but backs out at the last second once more into turn number 4. We can see further back as well, Alexi Cavero on the rear of Laminan. That gap's 1.8 seconds now. So TF10's day has gone from being brilliant now to quite mediocre. There was first and second at one point. They're now P4 and P8 with no certainty of finishing P8 because Alexi Cavero's in the DRS of Tumash Laminan. As we can see further ahead as well, Hugo Fontbon on the rear of Will Witchell, looking to make it a 3-6 here for ABS, which would be a brilliant result for the team. As they head their way through in towards turn 22. And actually you can see battery being burnt here as they get ready to head on to the final lap. DRS has been activated this lap, sorry, so they'll have another lap of DRS. Next lap, so now the question is who will take the victory here tonight. Lap 24 and 25, moves will be made. We've got Marquardt looking to get ahead of Courtine, looking to get himself into P2. They're all looking to try and find a way to not be in the lead as they go full wide into the final corner. Who will be in the lead? Who will be in second? As they head their way down, Harry takes the lead, Irwin in second, Eruption third, and Marquardt in P4, then Randall along with Fontbon as well, sitting right behind in this battle. Down to turn 1 they go now. Who will take the lead? As they head into turn number 1 now, as it'll be Marquardt who will look to take second. Courtine to the inside of Marquardt. He takes P2, but Marquardt goes deep to have the inside line at turn 2. As they head their way now down towards turn number 4, and Marquardt is in second. He's in the best position now to win this race. We've got Fontbon as well in P6 on the rear of Jensen Randall. He's going to drop back a little bit now as they head their way through this next section of the circuit. And, well, Harry Nuns has got a lot of work to do here to defend it from Joel Marquardt, and Courtine is in third, looking to also try and take victory here tonight, and Eruption was looking to win, but so far not looking that good in P4 to at least try and fight for a victory here tonight. And of course he will get a podium because of the penalty for Harry Nuns. As they head their way through, we've got Will Whittle there, looking to close in on the rear of Hugo Fonbon for P6. Of course, WOR, second in the championship, want to get a decent result. 7th and 11th at the moment, it's not the most ideal scenario. As they head through now in towards the final few corners of this race. We've got, one corner to go. What can Joel Marquardt do? Because he's getting in, but he's not got the battery. Can he make the move into the final corner here ahead of Harry Nuns, who's looking to try and take victory here tonight? In EML, Joel Marquardt breaks it, but can't quite get the move done at all. They'll head down towards the final line. It will be Harry Nuns who takes victory here in EML Jeddah, but it will be Joel Marquardt who gets it because of a penalty for Harry Nuns, which means it will be Eruption in second and Erwin Courtine in third, with Shazoo Jensen Randall in the top four, and ABS Hugo Fonbon runs out the top five. Brilliant race there indeed, and Harry, though, despite all of that, still gets a top 6 finish, so it's not the worst in the world indeed for the NLR driver, but he would have certainly preferred a victory over that. As we can see now, a few more cars coming through in CPI. Unfortunately, P11 and P12 in that affair, and then Matteo Piccolo comes home P13 ahead of Danny Daniels and Missy being the final car to classify. As we can see now, obviously, driver of the day, according to our screens, will be Hugo Fonbon. That, of course, is decided by the game. And then we'll see the final results very, very shortly. Once again, it's time to let me see them. So it will be Joel Marquardt who takes victory here tonight ahead of Eruption in second, Erwin Courtine rounding out the podium, and then Jensen Randall and Hugo Fonbon. Brilliant race from those guys. 20th and 19th on the grid. They finish 4th and 5th, and then it'll be Harry Nuns in P6 ahead of Will Witchell, Tumash Laminam, Alexi Cavero and Tony Hitala, and then it'll be Yuma in P11, followed by No Grosjean, Matteo Piccolo, Danny Daniels and Mizzy. We did lose Otso Loitamaki, Gabriel Quintino, Alan Banishak, Passy and Paolo Afonso in that race. So yeah, a lot of DNS, a lot of action, a lot of carnage, but of course brilliant from Shazoo to get a driver from 20th to 4th and a driver from 7th to 2nd. So all in all, a brilliant race from the Shazoo team, and I believe, well, we can have some interviews if they want. I don't exactly know what channel to go into. We'll pop ourselves into the. We'll go to the interview room now. We'll drop ourselves in there, and then we'll just see if anyone pops in. We'll see if anyone pops in. Of course, it'll be Joel, Eruption, and Erwin will get in if we can. But of course, there's no confirmation of that. We don't always have them in. So we'll just see if anyone pops in for an interview. And hopefully it's no one random. That is the last thing I want, because I think this channel isn't really hidden off to anyone. I think anyone can kind of join in. So we'll wait and see. Actually, we'll jump up to the comms chat and they can get dragged in. There we are. I'm out of the way now. They can be dragged up if they need to be. Because I don't think I have permissions to drag anyone up. I'll just tag them. Who was the top one? Markadars. It was Eruption. And third was Erwin. Which I can't find in the Discord. Yeah, I can't find Erwin in here, so we'll just stick with the top two for now. If they can't get in, I mean, if they don't want to get in, they don't have to, but we might as well give them the offer to pop in for a quick chat. As it was, it's been quite an interesting race here in EML, and the championship will be quite heated, I think, after this one. Because lots of contact, indeed, and well, I don't exactly know where the interviewees go. So we'll just see where they pop themselves in, and then we'll filter them out and kind of get them into the channel. I'll just jump in there instead then. I can't drag him up. Can I? No. I'm hoping I can get them dragged up. But there's no promise, because unfortunately, for some reason, I don't have the... Yeah. I can give them rolls, but I can't drag them. So I'll just jump down to them. Right, hello. It'll be easy for me to jump down into here without having to drag you up. So, welcoming you two. First of all, I'll speak with Joel. Joel, welcome in, mate. Brilliant race. P1, no, P2, but you did get P1 in the end, of course, because of the penalty for Harry. So, let us know, how did that race go for yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Nathan. I don't know if it's P1. I don't know if Harry can remove his 3 seconds. But yeah, a podium is really, really nice. TF10 had also gained a few points on WR and NLR. So yeah, that's nice. Quali was quite unexpected, but yeah, in the practice sessions today, I did only 0.8 as a best, but yeah, I knew the setup is good, and yeah, from the banker here, 0.8, and then in the last 0.4, that's really good for me. Yeah.
Of course, and I think it was in the first few laps. Was it? Did you hit the wall or something? Because I saw you go quite wide and lose some positions down at the end of the first sector.
Um, Yeah, in the first and yeah. I skated on this curb on sector one, and then one lap after, my teammate is still out of. So I said it's a McLaren problem, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, indeed. And in the end, you still managed to get a good result because of the safety car, though. Obviously, Tumas ended up finishing a little bit further down because he got held in the pits. But overall, I think it was a good race for the TF10 team, and obviously extending that gap a little bit more from second and third. You should be a little bit more set now to obviously win that championship. So, mate, thank you for joining us, Joel, and have a good one.
Thanks, Nathan.
And next we'll speak
Bye-bye.
to Eruption. Bye-bye. Eruption, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Indeed. So welcome in, mate. So P2 in the end, a brilliant race. Obviously, it could be P3 depending on Harry's penalty. But obviously, you qualified seventh on the grid. You made that early undercut. In the end, it worked because of that beautiful safety car with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, like it would have been P1, I think, without the safety car because that car from my engineer arm into pit on lap 9 was pretty much goated, to be honest. Like I had 2.3 seconds before the safety car, and to be honest, I think Harry could have catched up on the last lap.
Yeah.
If there wasn't any safety car, but still P2, I'm happy.
Yeah, of course, and obviously Jensen as well started last, got up into P4, so it's looking good for you, for yourselves in the championship to try and gain into NLR and WR, who didn't have the best races at all today. So obviously, you're still going to be quite a little bit far off the back of TF10, but do you reckon you can try and get second in the championship this season?
Maybe, I don't know. Depends how I'm and also how the tracks are looking. So yeah, pretty much looking forward to it.
Of course, and I believe the next race will be Singapore. How are you looking for that one?
Go the track for me. Very
P1
go
to
the track.
P1?
Maybe, I don't know. I still need to look at my pace there because the track got changed this year, and yeah, still need to do some practice, and we'll see.
Yeah, of course. So thank you for running the interview room, mate, and maybe we'll see you again next week after Singapore. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you very much for casting this race.
Thank you. You're welcome. It was a brilliant one. I'm not going to be here next week though, so if you P1 to P1, I'm going to miss it.
Oh, sadly.
Have a
Yeah.
good one, mate. Bye.
Yeah, see you.
Right, so we're back. That is the end of the interview section of the stream. It was brilliant to speak to our first and place sitters, and of course, we'll be back next week. I believe the same day. I believe there's also a console division. I'm not sure when that day is. I think that is. I don't have a clue, to be honest with you. I want to know, but I don't. But obviously, make sure to tune in for that next week. Of course, Josh will be back, of course, next time. I believe it's Josh who's with Alex, I believe, isn't it? Those two will be back next week. Or it's someone else, I can't remember. They'll be back next week to continue the action, of course. It was a brilliant and it was a pleasure to be here tonight for the EML Championship. And of course, sorry for getting things wrong and mixed up. I was going to do that anyway. There was drivers I didn't know. There was chaos everywhere. But indeed, it was a pleasure to be here. And maybe I'll be back in the future if I'm ever needed. So thank you all, guys, yet again for joining here tonight. Make sure to come back next week for the Singapore Grand Prix. And of course, then the final round will be in Abu Dhabi to round it off. So make sure to get back for those two. And we'll see if TF10 can win the championship. So until then, have a good one, guys. And we'll see you the next time. Goodbye.